Got it. So peace. It's Dewan Dandridge, the CEO of Black Leaders Detroit. I'm here with a good friend, mentor, and ally in the work, co-laborer in this work, Reverend Larry Simmons from the BrightMoor Alliance. As many of you may already know, we are celebrating Black History Month by awarding a $2,000 grant to an organization that has amazing Black leadership, BrightMoor Alliance being one of those that's up today. So it's my pleasure to connect with you and award you with a $2,000 grant, Reverend Simmons.
Thank you, Dewan. As you know, I have been following your work with Black Leaders Detroit since it was just a gleam in your eye. And to see how you have matured this work, it is right in line with what the BrightMoor Alliance is about. That while we may not be able to do everything with our own power, nothing that will last will be done without the use of our power. And so to see you building equity and building power through Black Leaders Detroit and helping our community to know that it has the capacity to address its own problems is like, phenomenal for me and perfect for Black History Month. As Carter G. Woodson said, if you make a man rightly believe that he's oppressed, you don't have to send him to the back door. He'll go on his own. And if there's no door there, he'll make one. So he started Black History Month to help, what was Negro then, people appreciate what they had already done and to visualize and vision what we could do. And in his heart, what he had in mind is what you all are doing now. So,
wow, yeah, that's huge. It's one of the things that I definitely noticed being this close to the problem as we try to bring a part of the solution is oftentimes the posture that we have. Even some of us that are well accomplished and brilliant, I see us gravitating towards the back door, looking for like back door. And I can feel some of us walking on eggshells still to this day in a city where we're 80% of the population. And yes. I don't see you operate that way. I try my best not to operate that way, but I also see you as a bridge builder, somebody that's always wanting to know other perspectives, even if they aren't aligned with who you are. And I think that that's the way we get like lasting, impactful work done, or at least that's the approach that I ascribe to and what we're trying to do at Black Leaders Detroit. So excited to be able to do this in partnership with y'all at BrightMoor Alliance, because as you know, I grew up in Brightmoor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I tell you, Dewan, the powerful thing about this for me, and that I'm going to talk about when I tell the community about this phenomenal award. One, what you just said, you are a son of Brightmoor, and you have taken that experience and weaved it into your gifts, to your personal power. You'll hear me talk a lot about personal power, which is different from personal. And seeding work in our community, man, it is, I don't even know if you can fully appreciate how significant what it is that you are doing. I tell people all the time, I don't hate white people. When I speak about the positives of Black people, I'm not hating on white folk. I don't hate on white folk because I want them to recognize that the street light that they're stopping on, or that the heart procedure that my son just had up in Ann Arbor, these things were pioneered by people who look like me and you.
That's right.
There's a whole raft of things. In fact, America wouldn't be America today without the contributions, not just our backs, which was phenomenal, by the way. Let me just say, the the economic contribution to the wealth of America provided by the labor of African Americans is almost incalculable. But the inventive, creative energy of our community, and to see you all step out like this with Black Leaders Detroit, because that's what we're pushing in BrightMoor this year as we collect what we call the Wisdom Project, is the wisdom of the community. There's tremendous brilliance in our community that nobody ever bothers to tap. Nobody ever bothers to ask. And had you waited around for somebody to ask you to do this, you'd still be waiting.
That's right.
See you get out there on that grind and make it happen. As they say, making it rain. Come on, brother. Come on. That's what Black history celebrates, man. You are making history in real time. And for us to be able to be part of it is just a tremendous compliment to the people of the community that you know so well and that others are coming to get to know. Because, man, there's some genius up in BrightMoor.
Yes.
And even, and I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, think about the folks who built the marijuana business, which is now legal.
Right.
Man, these are people who were pushed out of school, who didn't have degrees, who put together an organization and did billions of dollars a year in sales, to the extent that the main economy, looking at all that money they were making, said, whoa,
we have to have some of that. We're going to have to have
a piece of that.
Yes, sir.
And here's the irony, Dewan. The very people who basically created this industry, who went to jail because of it, are now barred from participating in it because they have criminal records for selling weed.
Right. Man,
that is the ultimate irony. Yeah. But just think about the energy, the creativity, the hustle, the grind, the risk, the courage.
And also the belief in the people that you're describing, right? As you talk about there being brilliance and so much there was, as I see workforce development being a buzzword in a space where lots of dollars follow, right? And I get calls from the people that run some of these workforce development things because they don't know how to fill their seats, right? Like they end up getting in position to get the dollars, but they don't necessarily know how to go out and recruit. And I tell them that the drug dealers in neighborhoods like BrightMoor in the 80s, they never made an excuse when they were looking for talent, right? And they hired everybody that was willing to work.
Yes.
They would train, right?
Yes.
They would teach you the science, right?
Yes.
There's science involved in preparation of the drugs of that time, which was crack cocaine, right? You would definitely need to understand math, right? You had to measure, you know what I mean? You had to be able to charge properly, right? You needed to have understand what customer service was, right? Like all of these things they were training. So what I say to them is when you don't understand and you're worried about us not having a skilled workforce, you need to let some of those brothers and sisters out that was recruiting.
See what I'm saying?
Preparing and sending folks on their way. You understand?
Yes.
Like they know exactly how to do what I think some of the people that are in place and tasked to hire, train, don't know how to do, you know?
One of the things that working in BrightMoor and pastoring, because as you know, I pastor there too.
Yes, sir.
One of the things that the people of BrightMoor have taught me is that you got to be pretty doggone smart to survive as a poor person. America really isn't set up for poor people. And so if you are somebody, if for whatever reason, you know, and I'm not justifying or claiming victimization for everybody who's poor, although many people who are poor are victims. but when you find yourself in that situation, to make the decision, I'm going to live, and then begin to think about, what's going on around me and how can I make these ends come together, man, that takes a level of insight, which once it's harnessed and you see people come up out of that environment with this ability to entrepreneurialize their circumstance, like you have done, man, there's no limit to what they do. There's no ceiling for them because they have that mindset that not having silver spoons and having everything easy promotes and grows. So to see what it is that BLD is doing, and to be part of it and to be honored, and it is an honor for us to accept this gift. Man, it just means so much to me personally as a friend of yours, so much to me as a community leader, as the executive director of the BrightMoor Alliance, and as a pastor to see the Spirit of God moving in his people. I believe that African-American people have a special place in America to help recapture the soul of America. Don't get me started about how we rescued the gospel from slave owners. That's a discussion for another podcast.
Yeah. I know. I mean, one of the questions I wrestle with personally is, has the Stephen era passed, right? Where we took the stoning and cried for, those stoning us not to be charged with the sin, right? I think that we're in a different era now, and it's time for those that have been stoning to put those stones down and repent.
Yes, and what you provide for those whose hearts have been turned is you provide a vehicle through which they can express that contrition and that repentance in a way that honors both you, the people you serve, and them. Because we got to be honest now. Everything ain't glorious with the Black community. Everything ain't righteous in the Black community. But we the victims of what America did by bringing slaves over here for those 400 years, we have to give permission to the descendants and to the beneficiaries, because even though they were not slaveholders, they're benefiting from what slaveholders accumulated. And the beneficiaries of that system, we have to give them an on-ramp back to righteousness and a relationship that allows them to work out these issues in a way that's respectful and that is safe. I think that's what it is that you're doing, and certainly what we're trying to do in BrightMoor. We make no apologies. We are unapologetically pro-Black, but we're also unapologetically pro-white.
Right.
Look, we got lots of white folk in BrightMoor. I don't apologize to Black folks or white folks about that. We acknowledge the gifts in all of God's people.
No doubt.
The problem is, as what's the coach, the basketball coach said, we spend a lot of time loving America, but so often America doesn't love us back. So to see again, to see your work, man, and to see the work of your organization, your philanthropy, growing from nothing.
Idea, right?
Yes. I mean, even before the idea, I saw it in you before the idea was articulated by you. It's a worldview, it's an attitude, it's a disposition towards problems that they're not stones, they're opportunities. I saw that in you before you began to articulate the idea, and then to see it go from the articulation and you wrestling with the issues about the nuances of what it is you all were going to do, man. And now this, come on, somebody. Come on. You'll make me shout up in here.
Hey, That's what we need. Look, I feel affirmed as usual, encouraged, and definitely you dropped some nuggets on me. So I appreciate that. I'm so glad that God has blessed Brightmoor with you for the season that you're there,
Thank you,
to
brother.
sow and give of yourself and all the things, all the experiences that you have and the wealth of knowledge that you bring to the table. I rest well at night with hope, understanding that there are many problems, but also that God has placed people like you in some of these places to be the solution, but also do what you said and learn from people in the
Yes.
spaces like Brightmoor. So I'm blessed. So thanks. Look, y'all have got a chance to hang out with us a little bit, hear a little bit about more about, I guess, a little bit more of the conversations that we typically have when we get together. I hope that it's blessed y'all. You've been a blessing to Brightmoor. We hope that the people that have donated money to us and allowed us to be a conduit to get it to you have been a blessing to you. So thanks.
Asante Sana.